Well, Kyrie Irving was fined $50,000 for making some obscene gestures at some fans during Game 1 of the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. Boy, was that a fantastic game. It ended in a Jason Tatum buzzer beater as the Brooklyn Nets now fall down a game to Boston. Kyrie obviously played in Boston for a couple years. Remember when before the second year he said, yo, at the pep rally, if you guys are me in Boston, I'd like to play here for a long time. I'm summarizing there. There was actually a season from hell that followed that pep rally conversation. Kyrie ended up bolting, ended up jumping ship, and becoming a Brooklyn Net following that season. Never got a real postseason run from Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics because, remember, year one, Kyrie was hurt. Then he ended up getting dental surgery during Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and LeBron torched him. And then the following year, like I mentioned to you guys, it was a disaster. I think Giannis and the Bucks got the Boston Celtics out of the postseason, and then Kyrie bolted for Brooklyn to join Kevin Durant and all that stuff, which is where we find ourselves currently at. And, you know, I do believe this is going to be a long series. I have the Brooklyn Nets winning it in 7 games. I don't feel great about my prediction. It's one of the ones that I don't feel the greatest about. But I'm rolling with my convictions. I just believe in a Game 7 situation, I think I got the better players. I think that Boston has a lot of respect, maybe even a little too much respect for Kyrie Irving and KD. In a couple years, if you're asking me who will win this series, obviously I'll go with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and now Defensive Player of the Year in the Boston Celtics. But for today, I still believe that Brooklyn's going to find a way to win this series. Now, they're planning on bringing Ben Simmons back at some point in this series. Is looking like by Game 4, we will see Ben Simmons. Now, I went to a Brooklyn Nets game against the Atlanta Hawks a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was ridiculous to see Ben Simmons not taking shots during the warm-ups. He was out there as a passer only. I've never seen that because if your back is messed up, which is the reported injury, why are you passing the ball? Like, why are you on the court? Like, if you could pass, you could shoot. That's how I look at it. Like, why would I exert the energy in passing the basketball if I have a back injury? Like, I'm going to shoot. I'm just going to sit out there. He turned into a dang ball boy trainer during the warm-up. So, if Ben is able to get back, in my humbled opinion, if Simmons is able to get out there for 20, 25 minutes and just be a guy that makes life difficult for Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart, and I aforementioned, I guess, Jason Tatum as well. I don't even want to throw him in that. Just make it difficult for 5 to 8 minutes of a half and allow Kevin Durant to rest. He did play and guard Jason Tatum in Game 1. If you could just allow Simmons with the length, because if nothing else, if you don't got the confidence in his offensive game, he can defend. If you can just allow KD to take a break, if Kyrie could get a couple seconds to breathe without having to look at Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown for a couple minutes, then Ben holds value to the series, and maybe, just maybe, the Nets could win that bad boy in 6. But that is a big ask for a guy that has not played basketball pretty much in a calendar year. It was around this time last year when Atlanta was booing Ben off their court, and then in Game 7, his own team, Philadelphia, was pretty much booing him. I think he was scared to take layups. And then Doc and Joel threw him under the bus, and all the offseason stuff happened. And here we are, though. If Ben could just give Brooklyn something, in my world, he could right all the wrongs that he's had in his career. In Philadelphia, they needed Ben Simmons to be a scorer. In Brooklyn, they do not. They got enough offense. And I'm not just talking about KD, Kyrie. You got snipers like Seth Curry. You got guys down low that can make some plays like Andre Drummond and Nicholas Claxton. And then Patty Mills off the bench and guys like, you got enough scoring in Brooklyn. They don't got enough defense. Brooklyn is one of the worst defensive teams in the league right now. Like, the Lakers are the worst, one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. But Brooklyn is like 3 or 4 spots above them. They were awful defensively this season. That's why pretty much every KD and Kyrie game has to be on ESPN or TNT, because every game's going to be really good because they don't play defense, but they can score with anybody. Like, literally, if I'm one of these networks, I don't want Brooklyn to lose because they're must-see television. pretty much every game against an adequate opponent is going to be close because they don't defend nobody. So we will see what Ben does to this series when he does play. I am looking forward to game 2, and I guess if I got Brooklyn winning this series in 7, I guess I will go with Brooklyn tonight to win game 2 and even this series up at 1 as we head to New York this weekend.